Right now, several people are hospitalized after a gas leak on the Epic campus. What we know about the incident so far.
Plus, a battle over benches. Why the City of Madison's planning committee wants the Social Justice Center to move those benches.
And later, how a group of lawmakers are trying to make it easier for breweries outside of Wisconsin to attend in-state beer festivals. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Several people are recovering tonight after an apparent gas leak on the Epic Systems campus in Verona.
Now, this happened last night about 7:15 when first responders were called to Epic for reports of carbon monoxide poisoning. Now, at least 4 people were taken to the hospital. Right now, that incident is under review.
And meanwhile, J.P. Cullen, the contractor working for Epic, released a statement about the incident. It reads in part, "Safety and well-being are the top priorities on our job sites and for everyone working on the site. The incident occurred on a construction site and not an occupied building. The individuals were treated and released." Right now, organizers at the Social Justice Center in another story are appealing an order from the City of Madison.
The city says the nonprofit is allowing a, quote, public nuisance, but organizers disagree. Our Tanisha Shaw has the story.
It's going to be all kinds of neighborhoods that are complaining about people who are outside.
Brenda Conkle serves on the board for the Social Justice Center in Madison. SJC is an office space for other nonprofits and a community resource that provides resources like Narcan and free food. She received this letter from the City of Madison asking for changes at the center.
Benches behind you have been here for 15 years. And the food pantry's been here for 6 years.
The City of Madison is asking the Social Justice Center to move this bench and this food pantry. While it may seem like a simple move, organizers say that the goalpost keeps moving.
They believe that if we remove these items, somehow it's going to cut down in crime in the neighborhood.
The City of Madison says that this is needed because in 2025, Madison police received 212 calls in this area.
Partly contributing to some of the illegal and negative behavior that was happening at that site.
Do you think there is a crime issue on this particular block?
I don't. I mean, no more than any place else in the city of Madison, in a densely populated area. Of course, there's going to be crimes, right?
According to city officials, neighbors often complained about human waste in the area and drug use. In Madison, all buildings must go through the city to have anything near a street.
Anytime someone has something in right-of-way, they need to have an agreement with the city to have that item in the right-of-way.
I think the real issue is we need to address the issue of there's no legal place for homeless people to go. There's no place for them to go to the bathroom. There's no place for them to exist. And that's the real issue here.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
And next at 6, we now know the identities of the victims involved in a Beloit crash. It happened Sunday afternoon about 2:30 at the intersection of Prairie Avenue at Cranston Road. 68-year-old Barney Hurd of Beloit pronounced dead at the scene. 43-year-old Carlos Hodges from the town of Turtle was pronounced dead at a local hospital later. Meanwhile, a passenger in one of those vehicles was also taken to the hospital. No word on their condition. Public health officials added more exposure locations in relation to the measles case connected to a UW-Madison student.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks joins us with the details and what health officials are doing to limit the spread. Jalen?
Eric and Sarah, public health officials again added those locations as of Tuesday. Those include the Merida Emergency Department on January 31st from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and several Metro bus routes, including January 26th for routes J, H, G, and O from 4 to 9 p.m. and January 28th on routes C1, J, O, and H from 10 a.m. to just after 3. Before this most recent case, the last confirmed case of measles in Dane County was in 2024. Prior to that, the last confirmed case was in 2000. In response to the exposure, Public Health Madison-Dane County is working with the patient to see who they may have been in contact during their infectious period. Now, if those people are not immune to the disease, then they will have to quarantine for approximately 2 weeks.
We're also holding daily meetings with our partners at the state and our community partners to talk about what we're doing, anything that's coming up, talking about the contacts, how many contacts we're identifying and having contact with each day. If there are people that are developing symptoms, we're making sure that we're developing really good communication pathways amongst ourselves and aligning our communication.
Now, measles are an airborne illness and they don't stay on surfaces long, so the exposure locations don't have to go through any cleaning processes. Now, if you're fully vaccinated, the chances of contracting measles is low. Now, for vaccine information and the latest on the exposure trackers, you can find those on Public Health Madison-Dane County's website.
All right, thank you so much, Jalen. Another quiet day weather-wise, but that could change later tonight. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington has the latest.
I sure do. A two-part clipper system will bring us a chance of light snow, a little freezing drizzle, and patchy fog overnight tonight, impacting that morning commute. Slick travel is a possibility Thursday morning. Then we'll have a break during the middle of Thursday. And then part two comes in, as I mentioned yesterday, a two-part clipper system with more light snow, a little bit of freezing drizzle again later Thursday night, lasting right up into that morning commute Friday morning before everything ends. And then we just turn breezy and mild for a little bit on Friday. Future tracks showing that light snow widespread across southern Wisconsin, especially for areas north and east of, let's say, the Dells to Camp Douglas to Madison to Janesville. As we move through the morning hours, again, light snow shower activity, then starts to press off towards the north and towards the east, eyeing up I-39 and I-94, and then it slips to the south and east, and it's out of here. Then we have the break. Then here comes round number two. This second round really is eyeing up Camp Douglas, Dells, Madison, I-39, down to Janesville and areas off towards the north and towards the east. A light snow mix with a little bit of freezing drizzle and some patchy fog is also a possibility as well before everything turns over to just a few flurries as we head a little bit later into Friday. When I come back in just a couple of minutes, I'll let you know how much snow we can expect, how much the potential ice could accumulate with that freezing drizzle, and then I'll discuss warm temperatures. Sometimes this is the price we pay. When you have warmer temperatures moving in, you get mixed precipitation, but more on those warm temperatures too coming up in a little while.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex. Beer and politics don't normally mix, but that's exactly what some Democrats at the state capitol are trying to do.
A News 3 Now political reporter Ellie LaLiberte breaks down a new bill that would bring out-of-state vendors to Wisconsin beer festivals.
It's no secret that beer festivals are a staple in Wisconsin, but updates to alcohol laws in recent years have made it more difficult for out-of-state breweries to participate.
It's part of our culture.
For Doug Randall, the thing that brings people together is beer.
Beer is something that most people can just get together and agree on.
It's a testament to the work he does.
I'm the chairman of the Great Taste of the Midwest.
Every year, Madison's iconic beer festival brings in about 200 breweries and serves about 1,400 different beers.
Well, we need out-of-state breweries because it's one of the things that sets us apart.
But last year,
So we lost about 60 breweries. I'm concerned about how this is going to affect ticket sales in the long run because beer festivals they don't have the popularity that they used to.
in 2023, Wisconsin updated its laws for making, distributing, and selling alcohol. That included a provision requiring out-of-state breweries to purchase expensive shippers permits to showcase at beer festivals.
That permit was approximately $1,250.
So Randall brought his concerns to the Capitol.
It was really cost prohibitive.
Senate Minority Leader Diane Hesselbein authored this bill to ease the fees for out-of-state breweries by allowing them to send a limited amount of beer to festivals without that permit.
This makes it easier for out-of-state breweries to bring their wares in here and people can try them.
It would open up the doors for smaller breweries to come back to us.
Randall's reaction to the bill?
Relief, intense relief.
The bill defines a beer festival as an event with at least 25 breweries. It also requires festival sponsors to provide notice of the event's date and time at least 15 days before it happens. Reporting in Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Now, the Great Taste of the Midwest brings in more than $2 million a year to the Madison area.
Well, the Dane County Regional Airport is celebrating a historic milestone. Today, they announced serving nearly 2.5 million passengers last year, a new all-time record. The previous record was set back in 2019, and the airport also saw a 6% increase compared to 2024. New and returning air services helped contribute to this. Those include summer seasonal services to Los Angeles and added flights to New York, LaGuardia, seasonal nonstop additions to Phoenix, Fort Myers, and Miami, and the first year of Breeze Airways operating out of Madison.
The Madison Lakeway project along John Nolan Drive may look a little different than previously thought.
Coming up next, why project leaders say they're now scaling things back and what that means for the future of the project.
Now at 6, moving forward.
Welcome back. Changes are planned for Madison's shoreline along Lake Monona and John Nolan Drive.
It's a project that will cover 1.7 miles with an impact on 17 acres of land. Our Nash Dara joins us with more on a little speed bump that the city is facing in the process. Nash.
Hey, Eric and Sarah. The timeline for Madison's reimagined Lakeway is still set with expected construction to begin in 2027. However, budget constraints have called for the project to readapt as funding needed was higher than anticipated. The eyes of the project are focused in on the goals of Phase 1 currently. CEO of Madison Lakeway Partners Jamie Powers shared she is most excited for separated biking, walking, and running paths alongside John Nolan Drive, native planting and new trees, as well as boardwalks that will curve over water, which will heighten the experience of the view. But there will be one main change to the project's current blueprint.
The budget for that section of Phase 1 was $12 million. And what happened is that the cost estimates came back at 13.5. So we have to, like lots of big projects, we had to go back and try to figure out where can we scale back a little bit so that we stay within budget.
One of the scaled back items Powers was referring to was a proposed Skyline Pier, which will now be brought down in size to fit within budget. However, it will still perform similar objectives, showcasing the lake's features and sights. Eric and Sarah, although construction of the Lakeway project isn't directly linked with construction happening currently on John Nolan Drive, a big portion of the project is based off of the new causeways, new improvements, and completion timing. Phase 1 of the Lakeway is expected to be completed during the winter of 2028.
All right, thank you, Nash. Coming up next, the Packers front office prepares for free agency and the draft.
Still ahead at 6, what General Manager Brian Gutekunst had to say about the team moving forward.
And it sounds like we have some snow on the way tomorrow. Alex returns with details when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, moving forward.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. You're taking a live look right now from our Edgewater Skycam, where the First Warn Weather Team is expecting warmer temperatures tomorrow, but there could be some snow as well. Alex is going to tell us now who may be getting that snow.
Yes, let's show that map right now. Who's going to see snow with a Clipper-like weather system? And it's a two-part Clipper weather system that I've been mentioning here for the past couple of days. Best chance is going to line up from Camp Douglas to the Dells to Madison to Janesville, maybe a ½ inch to an inch. Lesser amounts in southwest Wisconsin. Doesn't take much, though, to cause a couple of slick spots, though, with this Clipper-like weather system. And in southwest Wisconsin, you have a little better chance of freezing drizzle. And with cold pavement temperatures, cold roads, especially those back roads, again, some slick spots a possibility as well. Here are those snow showers Thursday morning, 5:30, widespread from the Mississippi River east across the rest of southern Wisconsin. But as we get towards 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, those snow showers start to push more towards I-39, Dells, Madison, I-94, and areas off towards the east and then southeast. Then we get a break. Then part number 2 of the Clipper system really eyes up Camp Douglas, Dells, Madison, Janesville, areas towards the north and towards the east, southwest Wisconsin, Boscobel, Prairie du Chien, Platteville, Darlington, Mineral Point. You may miss out on that second round Friday morning, but we can't rule out again some patchy freezing drizzle. And we also will be experiencing later tonight, going on into Thursday, going on into Thursday night and Friday morning, some patchy fog as well. And then a few flurries to round things out as the weather system moves through. So let's break that all down again with the timing. Slick travel is expected Thursday morning as we have light snow showers during that morning commute, mixing it with a little bit of freezing drizzle. Can't rule out a little bit of patchy dense fog as well. That brief break during the daytime, and then part number 2 occurs Friday night as we head towards the midnight hour or so, ending as we get a little bit past the morning rush hour on Friday, but still slick travel is expected. Tonight, temperatures getting down to 12. Early in Madison, right around midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, and then temperatures rise overnight tonight as that weather system moves in. And even though we're going to have the snow and freezing drizzle potential, once we get that break on Thursday, temperatures mid, maybe even upper 30s, especially towards southwest Wisconsin. Those temperatures through the rest of the 10-day period, look at that 40 on Monday, near 40 on Tuesday, staying well into the 30s. And as I promised at 5 o'clock, we're going to have a warm period over the course of the next 10 days. Let's go out even further into the middle and towards the end of February. I'm smiling here because we have mild conditions expected for the better part of the 2/3 of the East better 2/3 east part of the United States. So warm weather, at least the likelihood of it, is going to be sticking around. Sarah, Eric.
All right, thank you, Alex. Well, while the Packers won't be in the Super Bowl this year, their new president seems certain that the team is headed in the right direction.
This has Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst answered questions on the team's future. News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde with more now from Lambeau Field.
New Packers team president and CEO Ed Policy clearly believes the Packers football operations are headed in the right direction. Of course he does. Why else would he sign general manager Brian Gutekunst, head coach Matt LaFleur, and director of football operations Russ Ball to contract extensions that cover multiple years? So despite a disappointing 5-game losing streak to end the season, including a playoff loss to the arch-rival Chicago Bears, in which the Packers blew a 21-3 halftime lead, Brian Gutekunst, speaking for his first time since that game, insists that this team is headed in the right direction and will be a Super Bowl contender in 2026.
Again, we don't run from those expectations ever, Bill. We were 9-3-1, and I didn't think we had played particularly great football during the season. I thought we had moments, but I thought we had an opportunity to kind of round into form there in the second half of the season, and obviously it didn't work out that way. So I did think there were moments that where we played at a very, very high level, championship football type level, but it wasn't consistent enough. We didn't sustain it. So those are, I think, as we go into this offseason, we continue to evaluate 2025 before we get on to 2026. It's on the front of our minds.
While that may be true, the Packers have their work cut out for them this offseason. Brian Gutekunst knows that many of his 2022 draft class players are set to become free agents. The Packers also have a new defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, who takes over for a very successful Jeff Hafley, who took over as the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. We've got more on everything Brian Gutekunst had to say in his nearly 40-minute Q&A session with us today on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers our coverage directly to your inbox. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Always good to see Jason again, especially all bundled up at Lambeau Field. Looked like an ice rink behind him out there, huh?
Yeah, it did. Normally they have the heaters out on the field this time of year. I guess you don't really need it.
And you're talking ice next.
Yeah, we still got even more ice to come. Still to come in sports. We get you ready to take the ice. Our full hockey preview next in sports.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
Wisconsin's athletic contracts for coaches include predetermined extensions. Kelly Sheffield and the men's and women's soccer coaches got theirs today. And the last time that any Badger coach in any sport didn't have their contract extension honored was all the way back in 2021. But today, the Board of Regents notably did not approve Luke Fickell's one-year extension. Now, to be clear, he's not necessarily on his way out. He is still under contract through the 2031 season. Before the medals and milestones, there was a little girl watching the Winter Olympics from her living room, imagining what might be possible. And now that vision has become a reality. Our K-Racine shows us how a Wisconsin women's hockey star has changed the game and made some history along the way.
Wisconsin women's hockey star Layla Edwards is a trailblazer, and it all started in 2024.
I was the first Black woman to play for the U.S. national team.
And now, 2 years after the World Championship, she is headed to the Olympics as the first Black woman to play for Team USA.
When they watch me play, I hope young Black girls and athletes of color see an incredible hockey player, but more importantly, an incredible person, leader, and role model.
Edwards is in Milan now preparing for the Winter Olympics, a vision she's had since elementary school.
It's something I've dreamed of since 2014 when I was watching the Winter Olympics.
And her parents couldn't be more proud.
And you can almost see it. It's like opening ceremony, watching her walk with all of those athletes that are representing their countries. That's pretty big.
Trying our hardest, to make sure that she knows that it doesn't matter, how she performs, that, we love her to death.
With the opportunity to go for gold, Edwards is proud of how far she's come.
That it's all the hard work is worth it for sure.
Reporting in Madison, K-Racine, News 3 Sports.
Thank you, Kay. Layla is one of 4 current Badgers playing for the women's hockey team for Team USA in the Olympics. Like Layla, this will be Kirsten Sims' first time playing in the games. A feeling she told me on the Wisconsin Huddle still hasn't sunk in.
Obviously, it's a dream come true, and I still can't even put into words or find the right words to talk about it because, like, it gives me chills even thinking about it because this is something that I've been wanting since I was 4 years old, and actually have it now right in front of me is truly incredible.
Now, in total, there are 12 current and former Badgers playing women's hockey in this year's games. How cool is that? Even if they're in Milan, this was me this morning in Madison. Out of the excitement, I had to break out the skates and go over to Tenney Park. I would say, guys, that I lost my touch, but I really never had any.
I was going to say, you're from Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't play hockey in Iowa.
A little bit of pond hockey here and there.
Well, coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10, Madison police make an arrest in an armed robbery case, plus the latest on the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother as investigators reveal evidence from the scene.
A quick final check on our forecast. It's been nice and getting nicer.
Getting nicer. A little slick conditions, though, as those temperatures warm up on Thursday morning and Friday morning. Look at that, 40 by the time we get out into next week. A mild pattern on the way.
Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. Entertainment Tonight is next.
Our next show coming up at 10 o'clock, and be sure to join us streaming as well, 24/7 on Channel 3000 Plus.